Hey, you guys. I'm on a recording kick right now. In like this series of relationships and sex category, I've been talking about, or I've done a couple things on, like the loss of my dad and the loss of my mom and how that causes me to reflect on relationships that I choose now or in the future. And I've had a rough go with the loss of my mom, and it's what brought me to jiu-jitsu. And it's like the first jiu-jitsu class that I did was the first time in 2 years that I went like a whole hour without thinking about what the loss of my mom was like what the process of those weeks were like. And jiu-jitsu's always been that. Like, I get to jiu-jitsu and I'm so focused and concentrated on the technique and learning that my mind doesn't go anywhere else but right there. When I roll, it's the same thing. So it's an area of reprieve for me. Also, like what I discovered along the way of doing jiu-jitsu is that I really wanted a mentor. And it's been an interesting evolution process. Like, my mom was my best friend, but she was also a mentor for me. She taught me a lot, showed me a lot. Mostly she just like taught me to constantly be myself, even when it made zero sense to anybody else, or even to her, or even to myself, to just go with what I wanted to do and drive forward with it. And that, mixed with like the amount of integrity that both of my parents had, helped me evolve. One of the things that I missed about her was being mentored by her. And jiu-jitsu gradually turned into that for me, like seeking out a mentor and finding a coach who would lead me. And that, some of you know the process, and someday I'll go into it, but that has been a fucking awful process in a lot of ways too, which has only taught me to be more self-reliant, but it's been bad in its own ways. Slowly my dad started to turn more into a mentor for me. And then in thinking about him not being there and moving through life without him once he does die, then again, I'm left in this space without a mentor or someone that can coach me. So I've been feeling that void, which has been giving me a really hard time in jiu-jitsu lately, because I just so desperately don't want to be left on my own to figure out life, even though like I actually know that I'm quite strong in myself and that I can handle things. But there's something about having a mentor that sees you for who you are, that coaches you to be better at who you are naturally, and inspires you. That's a cool thing. That's a really cool thing for people. And I'm struggling to find that in jiu-jitsu. And I on and off struggle with that, finding a coach that's really invested in me. And sometimes it actually comes in form of a strength and conditioning coach rather than a jiu-jitsu coach. And then sometimes it's a jiu-jitsu coach. And then sometimes it's a completely different gym. And that's usually like the cycle that it takes. But I do encourage you to develop those relationships. Have those relationships with people that inspire you, that mentor you to be better, that teach you to be better, because they do provide a lot of safety and comfort. And I'm so grateful that I had such an amazing mom to do that with, and that my dad too is such an amazing person in my eyes, that I've been able to be mentored by him. I don't know what it's going to look like once he's gone. And I'm getting ahead of myself because he's still fucking alive. But I'm scared of that void. This is probably the most vulnerable I've ever been on video. That's weird. I'm scared of that void. That void is the reason that I got into jiu-jitsu. And I guess if you're feeling a void for that, I always tell everybody, oh, you're depressed? Try jiu-jitsu. Oh, you have anxiety? Try jiu-jitsu. Oh, you're lacking self-confidence? Try jiu-jitsu. Oh, you want a mentor? Try jiu-jitsu. but I believe so firmly in it. And projects are going to be coming out soon that WTF Yoga is working on, that will only emphasize that further and further. But mentors are important, coaches are important, you know, and I try to be a coach that just allows people to be where they are while showing them where they can end up. And I look for coaches that do the same thing for me. So that's yet another rant on relationships and why relationships are so important. Not just like sex relationships, not just, life partner relationships, friendships, and having friendship be at the base of everything. That's really key. I actually know some really cool jiu-jitsu coaches where I'm friends with them. And that provides a feeling of safety for me to be quite honest with them. So I do have it. Rambling. Anyways, think about relationships in terms of mentor. Who mentors you? Who do you look up to? Who would you look to guide you if your parents weren't around, or your big brother, your big sister wasn't around, or like, who is that person? Who are those people in your life? And just be conscious of the role that they provide, because it's really important to know those people and not take too much advantage of that role. See ya.